Hi everyone, my name's Caroline from carolinerushforth.com and I am a freedom from anxiety expert and trainer, and I want to share 6 tips with you today on how to overcome emotional overwhelm. We're living in times that are perhaps very different to what they were a year ago, and personal life and work life is starting to become perhaps merged and blended. A lot of people are having to change the way they work, and perhaps that's having an impact on your personal life and also your weekends potentially. And when we're in overwhelm, the nervous system responds by producing fight or flight mode, and this is called the sympathetic nervous system. And it's where the body is just consistently shooting out hormones and adrenaline, stress hormones, which are not good for the body if this is happening too often and over a long period of time. And the thing is with fight or flight mode is it was really, if we look at the ancient times, when we go out hunting, we needed these hormones to help us to catch our prey and go out on the hunt and keep safe. But in this modern age, these hormones are being fired off very often, and for some people it's just like a continuous cycle of work, work, work all the time, or at least it's work, 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 and then getting home and having lots of overburdening tasks to have to complete, or having almost like another role to have to take when you get home. And so what's happening is when you're living or working or behaving in this kind of constant do state, the mind isn't getting the body isn't getting a chance to actually come down from that. And this is why people get sick. So rest and relaxation is hugely important in order to bring the body down, in order to kick in the parasympathetic nervous system, which is where the body has a chance to rest, to recalibrate, to allow things to settle so that it can start to go back into its kind of normal way of living and normal way of functioning. And most of the time, you have no idea what's going on internally, but you might start to be feeling it and noticing it in fatigue, tiredness, exhaustion, emotional outbursts. And this overwhelm doesn't necessarily need to be work related, it can also be related to personal life, personal situations. Things happen and life happens. So the first tip is to allow your body time to rest, which is obvious. So the second tip is to ensure that you take regular breaks from social media, to make sure that you switch off your phone, or at least you're not constantly trawling through social media posts and having the phone up to your eyes and up to your face, because that can really have an impact on how the prefrontal cortex actually settles down. Now this is a really big deal for people who aren't sleeping, and I'm going to talk about sleep in a minute, but generally when you're constantly on your phone, or whether it's texting, WhatsApping, being on social media, or whatever, watching a video, the prefrontal cortex is being stimulated. So what can actually happen is melatonin, which is our natural sleep hormone, might not kick in because it thinks that it's still daytime because of the light that's emitting from your phone. Incorporating some kind of routine where you're disconnecting from anything to do with your phone is going to serve you in a very positive way. My third tip is to take breaks throughout the day. So if you do work from home, please make time to leave your desk and get out in nature, get out and get some vitamin D, some sunlight. It's not healthy to actually be indoors all day, and it's scientifically proven that not having any sunlight or vitamin D can make the person very depressed and unhappy, and it can really affect emotional well-being. So ensuring that you take time to get outside, get in the sunshine, even just daylight. Sometimes it is cloudy, especially if you live in the UK, but making time to go out and just connect with nature, to be able to just switch off, even if it's only for half an hour, is going to have a really big impact on sort of allowing your body to sort of have a break, allowing your mind to, rest, and then eat something, obviously. And then when you go back to your desk, it's as though you're getting a new boost of energy from your body, ready to take on the afternoon. My fourth tip is get enough decent sleep. So as I was saying earlier, too much mobile phone time can actually affect the amount of melatonin that's being produced in the brain. And if you are having sleep disruption, that could be one of the reasons. The relaxation needs to kind of take place before sleep. I mean, some people are really lucky and they're able to sort of hit the pillow and off they go and out like a light. But other people, such as other people I know, including myself, need that time to just come down from the day, to reflect on the day, to integrate what's happened throughout the day, maybe do some breathing exercises or some meditation to really get the mind sort of relaxed and ready in preparation for sleep. And sleep is super important for health, for immune system, for being able to think straight the next day, because the mind actually does a lot of work. The brain does a lot of work when we're asleep. It does this thing called rapid eye movement, which is where the eyes move from left to right very quickly, and that's processing everything that's happened throughout the day. That's interactions, tasks, problem solving, situations that have happened, events, excitement. We can have too much good stress as well. But this calibration and processing takes place when we're sleeping. So being able to reach level 4 deep sleep is super important in order for the brain to physically calibrate. And the body does a whole load of other things, which I won't bore you with, but there's a lot going on, put it that way, to help boost your immune system and to help you wake fresh the next day, to help you do a really good job. My 5th tip is exercise is great, yes, brilliant if you're doing exercise, but also be mindful that any cardio exercise is going to also be shooting off more hormones and adrenaline in your body. And if you're already feeling quite fatigued and drained and exhausted, just be mindful that any cardio exercise is going to add to that. So if you're able to incorporate some relaxation exercises or some other gentle exercise, obviously do the cardio, but just make sure that you allow, mix it up a bit with a more sort of gentle type of exercise such as yoga, Pilates. But just know that yes, exercise is good, it's great. Walking is obviously another gentle exercise, but too much hormones going off in your system if you're already feeling stressed and exhausted and fatigued isn't actually going to serve you very well in the long run. Or at least just make sure that you're allowing yourself to relax and come down from those cardio workouts. So ideally you wouldn't do them really late in the evening. After exercise, the body's still kind of pumping adrenaline around and doing its thing. So you may find that that'll also affect your sleep if you're a bit of a light sleeper. My 6th tip is to make sure that you separate your weekends from your work week and make time for socialising, make time for having fun, make time for connecting with people, and just make sure that you're doing things that aren't work related, because those 2 days are super important in order to help your body to just kind of come out fight flight mode and have a complete separation from being constantly on the go and constantly stimulated. So any activities you can do that involve maybe gentle walking, being out in nature, all the things that I've talked about there, but certainly connection and being around other people, because when you don't have connection, that's when emotional states can be affected, and that can also have an impact on mood. So ensure that you reach out to your friends, reach out to your connections. If you feel that you're a bit low on the connection side, then there are many groups that you can have a look into joining, or ask people that you know if there's a hobby or interest that you have, where you can join a group that shares that interest and hobby. So I hope that's been helpful. Thank you for listening. Do feel free to subscribe if you found this video useful, and have a great week. Bye.